Alright, we should be live. We're back. We're working on Arabella, Abandoned Doll. Here she is again, in case you need a reminder of how she works. Um, I do have some other tabs open besides my normal ones. The secret lair for the Marvel crossover goes live sometime today, and I can't find the exact start time. So, if it goes live and I have to order it, we will end the stream, but until then, we are working on Arabella, or until we get to like an hour worth of time worked on her. So we were working on sublist last time, and we had the token making collection down here that I was chewing through because we have a ton of room to lose stuff down here. But it's also one of the main things that she needs. So while we do have a lot of wiggle room, like we will not be able to run all of these cards, which ones we finally wind up with is a lot more up in the air, and how many of them. So, like, I feel like we're going to need all of the 1 mana and X, make X 1/1s. So, Secure the Waste, Totentanz's Song, and Tempt with Vengeance are all going to make it. But past that, I don't think any of the one-shot token makers are particularly good. I'm pretty sure we cut all of them, aside from those three. So now it's just the ones that will make tokens either per turn or per activation. Hmm. And there's a couple of them that can make a whole lot of tokens all at once. We did get rid of both of the double white and X. Make X tokens, and if X is 5 or more, kill all other creatures. As I don't think that's quite good enough. I am wondering if we lose the Overlord of the Mistmoors. So I'm expecting Arabella to be on the low end for her curve. Like, I think 6 is actually the most realistic top end for her to hit consistently. Um, by like turn 7 or 8, she should have 6 mana in play. But the Overlord can be impended, but then it's offline for 4 turn cycles after that. So it's essentially 4 mana, make 2/2/1s, and then if the game is still going 5 turn cycles from now, I get to attack with it and make 2 more 2/1s. And I don't know that that's actually good enough for her. Because it's very unlikely that we will be able to go like turn 7 or 8, slam Overlord, equip him with Lightning Greaves or something, and attack. That seems very unreasonable to have gotten into that position with him consistently. Um, I feel like it would be more like if the game drags on to like turns 10, 11, 12. That's where we're going to get the Overlord in play finally without impending him. So. And I'd like to believe that Arabella can end the game before we've gotten to turn 10 if she's going to win the game at all. So I don't think we want, like, I can definitely see cutting the Overlord, because if he comes down on turn 4, that means 5, 6, 7. So turn 8 he gets to, it is turn 8 he gets to attack, because he comes down turn 4 and loses one of the counters at the end of that turn. So he loses the last counter on turn 7 and can attack on turn 8. Assuming we cast him on turn 4, like we don't have anything better to do. or we don't have like, you know, we're not flooding out and we just go, well, we can probably hardcast him on 7 anyway. And we might even be able to attack with him if we can give him haste at that time, so. It's questionable. I can see cutting him. I can see cutting the Leonin War Leader too, since it's worse than Hero of Bladehold and still needs to attack in order to make the 2/1/1s. Hmm. Maybe. There's a lot of cards on this list that are maybes at this point, where we could very easily cut them. You can see cutting Athari. The upside to Athari is it has haste, so unlike some of the other ones that make the creatures when it attacks, um, it doesn't have to worry that I won't have any of the Lightning Greaves variants. It does only make one creature the first time, though, but it will make more if it lives. Yeah, I think Athari might be better than like Leonin War Leader and whatnot because of that. Yeah, for Lightbringer, I have to be attacking each opponent in order to get one token. It's not like Adelaine where I attack and I get the 1/1 token attacking each opponent. I could see losing the Soaring Lightbringer at that point. It's as expensive as Athari, and it's less likely to make as many tokens. So, and it has no way to come back. Like, Athari is almost definitely not coming back. We have one other way to make a rebel in the entire deck, and none of our other creatures are rebels naturally, so if it dies, it's probably never coming back on its own. Like, we would have to find something else to reanimate it, and I don't think we actually have anything. Like, it's too high of a casting cost for Sun Titan to bring back, and I don't think anything else reanimates a 5-drop in our deck. So, yeah, once Athari's down, we probably need to find the Hexplate Wallbreaker equipment in order to get him back. Looking at the other cards, yeah, I think we can lose the Lightbringer. Abdel's fine for right now. Blaring Recruiter is okay. It's 4 mana. It's a 4 mana 2/2, and then we can spend 3 mana to make a 1/1, which is the best rate we're getting on making 1/1s outside of the Pegasus one that eats one of the Pegasi each turn. So, I can see cutting it though because it's a 4-drop 2/2, and like, how often are we going to? If I'm trying to end the game somewhere around turn 10-ish, how many times are we going to be able to activate this thing? Like, we might get to a point where we can activate it twice in a turn, 3 times in a turn near the end, which would be alright. But we have to spend an entire turn. I don't know if turn 10 is turn 10 actually realistic. I forget, it's been so long. Like, when you have a good aggro deck in Commander, how long does it tend to drag out when you don't kill everybody quickly enough? Because doing 40 damage with Arabella, she comes down turn 2. Maybe turn 10's not realistic. Maybe we're looking at like a turn 12 end of the game, in which we're like, when we're impeded, when things aren't just going our way all the time, and people do successfully wrath our board, and we can't protect it. We don't rebuild super quickly with our remaining stuff. Still feel like 10 turn cycles seems like the right number, but I also might have just pulled that out of thin air, so. Because if we're shooting for, like, a game to end before, like, turn 15, how many tokens? If we push it out to, like, turn 15, though, I could definitely see, like, top decking this thing and just making, like, 3 or 4 tokens, and then playing an Arabella and giving her haste, and making, like, 2 more tokens and attacking with her. Like, that seems way more reasonable if we're going to drag it on that long. But I also feel like with all of the ramping and all the big splashy plays, like, turn 15 is, unless somebody's, like, really grinding everything to a halt. Like, that's more like how long Commander games go when you get to all of the big top-end things and just start throwing haymakers to win. And we kind of want to win before then. Like, we want our haymakers to be more like a rapid series of jabs. If nothing else. Hive is fine. Hive is amazing if we can get it down like turn 2 and just keep cranking out 1/1s. But if we top deck it late, it's kind of terrible. Like, this is not something I want to draw on like turn 7 or 8 of the game normally. But if we draw it like if we have it in our opening hand or draw it in like the first 4 turns of the game, I feel like it's fine. And if we draw in like draw it by like turn 2, I think it's incredibly strong. Yeah, now I'm wondering where I got the idea that we're going to like turn 10 is our actual thing. It's like, did I make that up? Is that a thing? Let me know if I made that up. How long are your games of Commander going? Maybe it's been too long. Because since I've not played in paper outside of the pre-releases, it's been since Dustborn premiered that I did any Commander, and that was like a couple games with my brother, and I think like 1 game with other people while waiting for things to start. So maybe I'm being unrealistic here with like winning on turn 10. Maybe it is like a turn 12 or 15 or something. Get through like 3 other players 40 life totals. Package. I've scrolled too far while I'm thinking about this. Yeah, now I'm like, did I just make that number up? I might have just made that number up. Didn't I cut a card? Did I actually cut the bird? I definitely cut the bird, but I seem to have cleared off the bird and... Alright. I don't remember coming up here and knocking it off. My brain has completely wandered off now. I am so distracted by where I got this number from. Just made that up. We definitely just cut the bird, and I do not remember going up to the top and getting rid of the bird and coming back down here. So, like the glimmer bird, not Othari. I believe is a phoenix. All right. What are our best token makers? Outpost can go. It's a land though, so it's not really helping the count, but it does trade off being functionally 3 mana to make a 1/1, but it's only once per turn cycle, and it ate one of our lands to set this up when we're already light on land, so I can see losing that. Sacred Mesa, if we have nothing better to do with our mana, this is a wonderful mana sink for this deck. Because if we can churn out, if we could ever get to the point where we're making 4 Pegasi a turn, Pegasus a turn cycle, then even with losing one of them, we're like way ahead of the game on mana spent to creatures produced. If we're spending 6 mana and getting 3 of them, but losing one of them every turn, then we're right back where the Recruiter is, where it's 3 mana per 1/1 that we're making effectively. I can definitely see cutting Sacred Mesa because we have to spend mana on it or start going down in creatures. Or just let it die, and none of those options are great sometimes. I can see cutting Goblin Trenches. Um, Mobilization, we will only cut after cutting Blaring Recruiter. The Recruiter is 4 mana and a 2/2, so it's more expensive, and it can die, to typical creature removal board wipes that you run into a bit more often than you run into mass enchantment or even targeted enchantment removal, I feel like. So, and then if it's target enchantment removal, mobilization has to be the problem. So, I don't see that being true, like, basically at all. If mobilization is the best thing to kill, it's because it's the only enchantment and you're playing something that kills multiple card types, or it's my best enchantment and you're playing something that kills, like, the best thing from each player. Like, nobody's killing mobilization with their targeted removal unless things have gone really weird in this game. So, but the Blaring Recruiter is probably just going to get swept away by creature removal anyway. And let's be honest, our deck makes players want to play mass board wipes sooner rather than later. So, Siege Gang is staying almost until the end. Like, if we cut Siege Gang Commander, the deck looks incredibly different from where I thought we were going. King Darian stays for right now. We might lose rapid response or first response, whatever the enchantment is that makes a 1/1 every turn if we were dealt damage or if we lost life the previous turn. But King Darian stays for the 2 reasons that, one, we can still run the lands that deal damage to us. Our commander gains us a ton of life, so getting dealt damage is not a big deal for us. And second of all, if we're gaining this much life and we have this go wide board state, we're probably going to get attacked by large creatures at some point in time. And having this be a penalty for that, you attack me with your 7/7 Trampler. I don't know which one it is, but it's some efficient one, I'm sure, because it's commander or has like a cool effect on top of that. If I just take 7 and make 7 1/1s, I immediately gain that life back if I can attack with Arabella. So, I don't think we lose King Darian to begin with. We might lose the first response, though. That might not be good enough. Cloud Goat Ranger can go because it itself is not in range of our commander. It does make the 3 1/1s, though, so it's still tempting. Pride is fine for right now. Night Captain, we keep Night Captain. We lose Cloud Goat before we lose Night Captain. It is only two 1/1s instead of three, but it itself is a 2-power creature. Also, the ability to fog when we don't want to take the damage by sacrificing one soldier is way too good. I can see losing Elspeth. She's definitely fine in the deck. But we will keep her. Sun's Champion is the one that we definitely don't cut. This one we could cut near the end. Hero of Bladehold stays for right now. Requiem Angel stays for right now. The fact that our non-spirit tokens die into spirit tokens after they die the first time. It's like my 1/1 soldier tokens and goblin tokens are all dying into ghosts before they die completely. That's just way too strong. Assemble the Legion grows out of hand, similar to Othari, but not a creature. This one, though, I can definitely see somebody killing specifically. Like the other one is eating up our mana and is only making like a 1/1 or two 1/1s a turn. Once this thing gets going, it's making like 3 or 4, well, 3, then 4, then 5. Like, that actually becomes problematic. So, Elspeth is staying, probably until the end. Secure the Waste is staying. Handwire Garrison can potentially go, but I think we have a few worse creatures that attack and make creatures. Mostly because the Garrison is making 2 and is itself within range of Arabella. Visionary Augmenter. Visionary Augmenter has an argument for being the thing that stays in instead of Cloud Goat Ranger because it will be a 2/1 and it makes 2 1/1s. Monument is fine because it's making our spells cheaper. A lot of our creatures so far have been white. We have like a couple of mono red goblins, but we seem to have a lot more white creatures that make tokens than we do red creatures. So the 1 mana cheaper is going to be relevant, and we're going to have, and every one of our creatures is making an extra 1/1 now. So I can see losing Legion's Landing. I think it's fine though. It is almost entirely a ramp spell in our deck. It's like 1 mana, and then on like turn 5, we get a free land out of it, or we get the ability to spend 4 mana and make a 1/1. So, but I could see cutting it. I think it's one of the lower impact token makers. Talani's Summoner, definitely want to keep that. Dawn of Hope could go. It's 4 mana to make the 1/1. It's 2 mana to draw the card. But if we don't win quickly and the game drags out, this is definitely one of the ways we have to grind out a game. Like, this is another one where I could see somebody killing it because making a 1/1 and then drawing a card when we do anything with that 1/1 or when we attack with our commander is going to get us back into a game. So Krenko can potentially go. Does Krenko go before Handwire? I don't think so. Only because Krenko, if he lives, will make more tokens. Like, the first time he attacks, we still make the 2 1/1s. So he's still doing as good as Handwire. After that, he's making more. Downside to Krenko over Handwire is that if I clone Krenko, then I don't get to keep it. So cloning him is terrible, and most of our things can't clone him anyway. It's only, I think, Balloon Man can do it. Whereas if I clone the Garrison with Kiki or his Reflection or Jaxus, then we can attack with the token, make the 2 additional 1/1s, and then have the the fake one explode, and we still have the original one, and we can attack with both and make 4 tokens if that's actually good for us too. Yeah, I just kind of walked around in a circle, didn't I? Because Franco is better by himself, and Handwire is better with a bunch of the other cards that we're running. So it's like, which one of these is actually better? I don't know. um, Battlecry Goblin is probably worse than all of them, but it's a 2-drop. I could see cutting it though, because it's lower impact, and we'll always have a 2-drop in our commander. So it's not like we need to get the. It's not like if our commander was a 3, I'd be a little more concerned about having enough 2s because we want to get on the board as quickly as possible, making creatures. So having a 2-drop creature that can eventually make more creatures seems a lot better. But since our commander is 2, then we don't really need something on turn 2 to get the party started. So I could actually see losing the Battlecry Goblin. It's still okay in the deck. We have a ton of goblins, and being able to spend 2 mana to anthem them, like power, even just power wise, can lead to a lot of extra damage. Battlecry Goblin's on my short list though to get cut. Den of the Bugbear is a land, so it's not really hurting anything. Adelaine, if I attack with one creature, as long as that creature has a safe attack or can be thrown away, I get a creature for each opponent that I have. Now, granted, each one of them is tapped and attacking, so if I don't have a good attack against one opponent, I kind of need our commander to be unblockable or something for this to be good. But it's kind of the same as Krenko, except technically it's the same as Onimpakal, where I'm making a bunch of creature tokens, but they have to be able to live, or I need to be attacking with our commander. Hey Diggs, welcome back. I didn't say hi to you last time, like I was just super focused. Speaking of being super focused, it is 10 o'clock. Let me make sure they didn't open this thing up yet. Because I can't find anything that says when it opens. So, nope, still not up. I think they usually open them around noon, but I cannot remember, and I'm pretty sure this one is gonna sell out pretty quickly, so and as a collector I kind of need all the unique cards from it. Because who knows how long it's gonna take them to print a Universes Within. Although I am wondering now if they will wind up reprinting these. That would actually be incredibly painful if they did like a full-on Avengers set later on and they actually reprinted all of them in there as anything. If they were the special guests, maybe it wouldn't be so bad, but that'd still kind of suck at that point. Because I'm pretty sure all of the value of these things is going to be the unique cards in them. Where was I? Oh. Yeah, we're not getting rid of Adelaine. We're definitely not getting rid of Rabble Rousing. I love Rabble Rousing so much in Riss, and this deck, if any deck does better with it than Riss would do, I think it's Arabella. Because attacking with all of my creatures and getting another 1/1 for every creature I have seems like I could actually win the game on that turn. Like, I legitimately could see doing like 20 plus points of damage by turning all of my creatures sideways with this enchantment in play. So, my rel is fine. We do make a lot of soldiers. Rel's Hive is the turn 2 play I'm looking for. Andorel, I could see losing Andorel, but it's fine in the deck. The fact that the tokens are flyers means that it has a lot more, um, like a lot more survivability, even if the tokens are put into play tapped and attacking. If I cut the second Krenko, the one that makes them when it attacks, it's gonna be because Animpakal is just better. Like she doesn't have to attack, I just have to attack with something and I get a gnome. She makes less gnomes. Like she always makes one less than Krenko will, but she also never has to attack. So that's fine. Ports of land. Season of the Burrow is more in here to kill things, but if I kill two things, I also make a rabbit. So, and there will be times where I will just make 5 rabbits. Dollmaker's shop. The biggest downside to the shop is that Arabella is a toy, and therefore her attacking does not make the 1/1. But being able to spend 6 mana to turn all of my creatures into 10/10s or something has a lot of potential to it. So, and then we come back to the Overlord of the Mistmoors. Honestly, we probably do cut Overlord. I think the biggest argument to keeping the Overlord is to cut Leonin Warleader, because the Warleader comes down on turn 4 also, but has to attack to make the 2 creatures, whereas the Overlord comes down on turn 4 and makes the 2 creatures. But then if the Leonin gets to attack for the 4 turns that the Overlord is... so the Leonin has to attack once and live, otherwise it's about as good as the Overlord. Or actually slightly worse than the Overlord. Then if it attacks again and I haven't lost all of the 1/1 tokens from it, it's better. Yeah, no, I'm talking myself out of both of these at this point. So I think we do lose the Overlord. I think we do lose the Leonin Warleader. Oh, right. I marked us down, but I did not actually kill the bird off of the main list, so I have to find it and get rid of it. Definitely want this Krenko. We make a lot of goblins naturally. So he gets out of... Like, even if somebody wraths the board and we drop Krenko, we should probably be able to find, like, a goblin or 2 after that to really get him started. So I think we lose the Leonin. We lose the Overlord. We probably do lose the Blaring Recruiter. It's just so much worse than the other things that we have. We get rid of those 3. Kind of want to keep all of these for right now. Wildfire definitely want to stay. Bunker is staying. Fourth Aerolingus stays for right now. We Ride at Dawn also stays for right now, but I could definitely see cutting it. Gang Lieutenant, Rabbit. Yeah, all of these are fine in the deck, so I need to get rid of the bird. The commander set. There it is, since I cut it off of the count at the top. It's still technically on the list. Alright, we get rid of Blaring Recruit. We get rid of Leonin Warleader. And we get rid of Overlord. Sorry, White Grave Titan, you're not quite good enough here. Alright, all of that effort in order to get rid of 4 cards off the list. Doing great. I don't know, maybe I'll do a recount and find out that I actually only have like 96 cards left on the list or something. Because I've done that like twice in a row now, where I've horribly miscounted the number of cards, and I don't know how I managed to do that. Alright. So, I don't think I'm going to get much more off of the token list now, so we'll come back to it once I've gotten a better feel for the deck. What I kind of want to do now is pull out the cards that allow me to attack with Arabella safely and see which ones I have and which ones I need. So, like, Reconnaissance is one because I can pull her out of combat. No to all of those. Duplicant, Lightning Greaves, Sad Robot, none of those are doing it. Runetail, because it will prevent damage dealt to my creatures. Warcraft lets her attack safely once, but that's more of a finish the game card than a protect my creature so they can attack card. Dolmen Gate prevents all combat damage that we dealt to attacking creatures I control. In a very roundabout way, Knight Captain of Eos would technically work, since I can attack with Arabella, get her trigger, resolve her trigger, then sacrifice a soldier to prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to her, and that she would deal, but that doesn't really matter. Stoneforge, Raid Bombardment, Darksteel Plate. I mean, Darksteel Plate is allowing Arabella to attack, so I guess that counts. Is kind of what I'm looking like. It's most important that Arabella be able to attack and live more so than the other creatures, but it's nice when the other creatures still live in case I don't win this turn. Frontline Medic falls into this category. Yeah, I think I have room for, like, depending on which ones, I think I have room for, like, anywhere between, like, 4 and 7 cards that do this, but Roas falls into the category too. But they're kind of all over the place with how they do it, so it becomes a question of which ones are actually worth running. None of these. No. No. Alpine Meadow. Magda, no. No. Fable. Farewell. Lion Sash. It's the Mithril Coat. That one. No. None of these so far. Technically, Odric works because I can choose not to block with the creatures and he's repeatable, so yeah, he makes the list. 8 now. Resonator. No. Lena's a one-shot. Wait. Did I have Leonin Warleader on 2 different spots? Because I definitely crossed him off. Oh god, did I get rid of a different Leonin? That's not good. Or did I have him on the list twice somehow? There shouldn't have been another thing, like he's not, it doesn't disenchant or anything. Oh, I have concerns. Streaming, Scryfall. What has Leonin in the name that I might have gotten rid of? Besides... Oh, hang on. We can make this a little easier on myself. Commander is white and red. Alright, let's search again. None of those. Have Relic Water, no Shikari. Oh, it was the Sun Standard, wasn't it? Iriden. Yeah, that's what I got rid of by accident. Okay. Well, at least I figured it out pretty quickly. Is 2 mana, artifact, 1 white, creatures. Okay. Yeah, that was definitely the card that we lost by accident. Alright, figure it out. It's okay. I undid my screw up. Alright, so back down to Odric. P and Kieran, Sigil of Valor, Lena, no. Johnny. Technically Basri, that is his +1, is to protect the creature so it can attack safely. Incinerator, Fiery Emancipation. Subira makes them unblockable. Fruiter, Sanctum, Generous Gift. Jazal doesn't really protect them. It's a huge power and toughness boost potentially, but not quite it. Loyal Unicorn does. Flawless Maneuver is a one-shot, so no. That's definitely more in there to counter a Wrath than it is to allow my creatures to attack safely. Same with Grand Crescendo. Awakener, no. Aerolingus. Conqueror isn't doing that. Absence. The Warhammer thing, Vexilus, is. So is Tegan here. Brotherhood makes her unblockable, yeah. Up to 14 now. Gang Leader, Goliath, and Duo. Okay. So for the sub-list of protecting my attackers, my god, I have a lot of tokens here. Yeah, I need to cut more from down here at some point in time. Protecting my attackers. The T got in front of the O, that's what happened. Alright, so Reconnaissance, yes. Moontail, Dolmen Gate, Darksteel, Frontline, Roas, oops, Coat, Audric, Basri, Vera, Unicorn, Vexilus, Tegan, and Brotherhood. Right? Okay. So Reconnaissance almost definitely stays. I think that's one of the strongest ones we have because that lets me attack with literally everything and pull it out of combat if it's going to get hurt. Excuse me. And they would basically have to destroy it before I declare attackers. Otherwise, I've already declared attackers and my attack triggers are on the stack and I can pull them out of combat. Runetail has to be in play. Dolmen Gate has to be in play. Darksteel Plate. Frontline Medic is a trigger, right? It's when I attack with this and 2 or more other creatures, my creatures gain indestructible. Aroas has to be in play, but he has indestructible, so he's a little harder to get rid of. Mithril Coat is just slightly more expensive Darksteel to cast, or to equip rather, but auto attaches to our commander. Odric is an attack trigger. Basri is an activated ability, so we'll know if it worked before we have to declare attackers. Subira we use before combat. Loyal Unicorn is an attack trigger, or is a beginning of combat trigger, actually. And Tegan is an attack trigger. Alright, so I kind of want to get rid of the ones that, if the creature suddenly disappeared, or the permanent, all of our things would be vulnerable again. Because I think we have enough ways to protect them that don't leave us exposed to that, so... Ooh, excuse me. Get some water here. So yeah, I think Runetail goes. I think Dolmen Gate goes. Yeah, I'm gonna be coughing and hacking now. I can't even feel the thing that's bothering my throat moving at this point, like when I try and clear it out, so I'm definitely gonna be choking on it. Fortunately, we're getting close to the end anyway, so we just won't push it past the hour mark, so when we get to like 50 some odd minutes. Alright, so we lose those. Still have a bunch of them. I guess the Regalia, it gives Ward 2. It's cheaper to equip than the other ones. And it actually makes her unblockable, so she'll get in for an extra point of damage. But I think Indestructible is better. We'll also have the 2 lands, because we'll have Rogue's Passage and Access Tunnel that I did not grab when I was going through the list, so... In fact, I think I still have to add Rogue's Passage. I think I skipped over it. I did know I skipped over it, though, at the time, so I meant to go back and add it. I'll definitely remember by the time we get to the lands that if either of them are not on the list, I need to add them on. So, yeah, I can kind of see losing the Regalia. It's 2 to cast, 1 to equip to our commander, though. Like, it's fine. We don't need all of these, is the thing. So, Frontline Medic needs 2 other creatures, and my creatures gain indestructible. Odric needs 3 other creatures, and I get to choose if and how creatures block this turn, so... The Frontline Medic has the extra making X spells cost more, functionally, since it's an onboard trick. Sorry. I'm just going to keep dying right now. We're almost there, though. Alright, so we definitely get rid of these, then, because we're just about at 50 minutes, and Feeling a little self-conscious about hacking up a lung right now. I always do, but this one feels especially bad all of a sudden out of nowhere, so just get these off the list. Oh, it's Dolmen Gate. There we go. Dolem Gate. Runetail. And Vexilius. Alright. Grab all of those. We cross 4 more cards off the list. And I feel slightly more accomplished. And I think we call it there. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good rest of your day.